Oh my God, the comic book industry is caught between a rock and a hard place. They just can't catch a break. Not only are they being scrutinized by their corporate masters from above, but now they're being kicked at from their exploited creative talent from below. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 28-year veteran of the comic book industry, and I was looking at Bleeding Cool, found this pretty fascinating essay written by Steven T. Seagal, not the chubby action star of whom we are all very fond, but a comic book creator, a writer. Look at him. He co-created Big Hero 6, Ben 10, and a ton of other stuff here. Look at all this amazing work. I haven't seen Steven T. Seagal writing anything in quite a little while. I'm sure he's doing just fine for himself. But I am fascinated with this essay. And this essay is one big long complaint and a list of demands from one creative person to Hollywood, to the Hollywood culture that is actually, exploiting through the comic book publishers, creative people like myself and like him. And it's all pretty funny because Wonder Woman 1984, which was a gigantic catastrophe that people at Warner Media are trying to put behind them right now. That's the focus right now of concern. Special thanks to, look at all these names of people that I know personally: Alex Ross, Mark Waid, J.M. DeMatteis, Keith Giffen I know, let me see, Phil Jimenez I know, Kevin Maguire, Rags I know very well, George Perez, Harry, this guy's name was Harry Peter. He's the original artist of Wonder Woman. His name's Harry Peter. Oh my goodness. Greg Rucka I know, obviously, and Nicholas Scott. And the Marston family, the people who DC Comics has to pay most of the royalties from all Wonder Woman media to. They got a great deal. The creator of Wonder Woman, his family is still getting very, very wealthy. Unlike the families of the Superman creators, the Batman creators, the Marston family does very, very well. So they've got their own special thanks section here. By the way, it was funny. Liam Sharp, who was very recently an artist on Wonder Woman, got left off the list. And Patty Jenkins actually took to Twitter to thank him personally and apologize for not including him, which was interesting. It made people feel all warm and fuzzy. And then we have this from Steven Seagal. No! Thank you is not enough. See, special thanks, not enough. He says, I have grown weary of watching superhero and other comic book originated genre blockbuster films and TV shows and seeing the very last credit be a swath of inspirational comic book creators lumped together for the non-credit credit of thanks, while others take credit for concrete, tangible aspects of the film or TV show that was cut whole cloth from the work of people left holding the thanks. And then the inevitable list of people the production forgot to even give a thanks to, while fully remembering to make use of their ideas. That's right, they did not forget to fully make use of Liam Sharp's ideas. They did forget to thank him until Patty did it personally on Twitter. So this is the whole thing now. It's no longer about can we just accept a thank you in the movie and realize that this is work for hire? It's now about, we have a list of demands. And what is so funny about this at this moment in time, this is why it's so sad and why I cannot help but chuckle, a smug chuckle, which is called a smuckle on the internet. I cannot help but smuckle at this situation, because as DC Comics fights for its survival in the new corporate culture owned by AT&T, which is currently cutting the fat and looking at publishing these paper pamphlets and going, why are we doing this? Why are we continuing to do this when basically what we want to do is run HBO Max and create media based around all of these characters? We don't really need the comic books anymore. We can just cut the publishing off. DC Comics is fully aware of this. 40% of its staff has been fired so far. Their production line, their comic book line, has been cut from, I think last year at this time, 80 books. Now it's down to 34 comics. And, this is the direction that they're going. And all DC Comics can do is look at AT&T. All the comic book industry can do in unison, for the most part, up until now, is look at AT&T and Disney and say, but we're cheap labor. We're a cheap idea farm. We're an IP factory. We're research and development. Surely you understand how important it is that, we sit here and we create these stories for you guys, and you get to turn them into movies and TV. And we only, these guys, the creative people who did the comic books, for the stories, the ideas that you're currently swiping and turning, well, they did it for really inexpensive. So overall, even though we are a money-losing venture, in the long run, are we? Are we really? And then that is their argument. That has always been their argument, and it continues to be their argument today when things are particularly dire. And now you've got one loud creative person saying, no, F that. I want some cash. I want a credit. I want a movie credit. We need to be fairly compensated. What are his list of demands here? Look at this. He says the patronizing trend of offering comic book creators thanks at the end of films or TV shows for specific character settings, scenarios, storylines, visual designs. Any of the intellectual property creations comic book creators generate needs to stop. It should be replaced by what? Actual appropriate credits. Okay, I mean, we can probably do that. And meaningful compensation. Now, I am here to tell you that a few ideas that I created while I was working at DC Comics for 20 years, especially on The Flash, ended up being utilized in the Justice League movie. And I received a fat check, a bonus check. What would be called, incentives? It'd be called an incentive check. Or something like that, and it was large, and I was quite happy with it because I was not expecting it. In fact, I'd forgotten that I even created the stuff that appeared in that Justice League movie, and yet, according to Steven Seagal, perhaps that was not enough. Perhaps my thank you at the end of Justice League was not enough. I should have gotten a proper credit for every aspect of everything that I created, and an appropriately sized, scaled paycheck for each one of those ideas that was utilized. Now, this sounds great, doesn't it? This sounds absolutely wonderful. I wonder how it's going to sound to Warner Media. And again, they're like, oh, yeah, like, you should be flattered to see your name up there. Anywhere on Screen has led Mega Productions to do exactly that. See your name? You're welcome. But the fact is, those original ideas are in the very DNA of these big productions. They're not inspirational afterthought. They are the thought itself. The film or TV series would not hold the shape that it does without those original creators' ideas. The actors would often not play the characters the way that they do without the original conception. The fan base gravitating towards those original elements in the film or TV show out of a sense of nostalgia, specifically geeking out over the preceding work's presence. The new fans responding to the film or TV show are often responding to, okay, so basically it's all us, it ain't you. And to which, if I were Hollywood, I would say, all right, so we'll stop using your ideas. We are going to stop publishing comic books entirely, since you're going to be little bitches about it. And we will just continue to, we will create here in Hollywood. In fact, there's no shortage of better writers, of better artists working in Hollywood right now. There is absolutely no need for a comic book industry to exist at all. If this is going to be the situation, we can just use our own talent here in Hollywood. And believe me, there are people in Hollywood who can write a better Batman story and come up with better Batman characters and come up with better Batman designs and settings and scenarios than, one of these comic book creator schlubs. The only reason why you guys exist right now is because we haven't killed you yet. And that is the argument here. So I find it pretty funny. This is a badly timed essay, although I would have agreed with it 15 years ago. Right now, when the comic book industry, specifically DC Comics, is hanging on by its fingernails, this is probably the most ill-advised argument. This is an argument that, it is... I don't know. It's untenable. It's a reason for the comic book industry and the final thread connecting it to AT&T to be cut, and this is what it is. This is actually, that's a pencil, but if this were a fork, that's the equivalent, the visual equivalent of what Steven Seagal did here. Be grateful for your thank you. Be grateful for any royalties that you get. Understand the whole reason that you get to do what you get to do every day working in comics is because you're willing to be exploited. Now, that is the whole reason. You sign your paycheck, you sign that work-for-hire paycheck, you are volunteering to be treated like this. You are saying, please exploit me, please take my ideas, please. I like being a slave to a big, gigantic corporation. I'm happy about it. Again, that is why indie comics exist. That is why Comicsgate exists. That is why our new method of crowdfunding comics and fulfilling them ourselves, marketing them on YouTube and on Twitter, is the better course for creative people. Because again, you're not owed anything. Not at all. You're lucky to get that. Thank you. So speaking of which, my comics, Cyberfrog, Snowman, and Snowman: A Cold Day in Hell, and also Rainbow the Brute, which is my exploration of 1980s girls' toys, but shot through a high-T masculine filter. These comic books are being crowdfunded. The links are in the description below. Please consider supporting them. And I appreciate you. Guess what? I created, well, except for Snowman, that's my friend Matt Martin. Cyberfrog's mine. If he ever appears on the screen, I can expect more than a thank you. And that's the reward that somebody gets for taking the risk on their own ideas instead of piggybacking on the work of others from 70 years ago. Thanks for watching this video. Please do me a favor, comment. Let me know what you think. Always comment in all of my videos because I read them all. Let me know if you think this Steven Seagal guy, if you agree with him, or if I'm wrong, if he's wrong. Let me know either way. I want to know your ideas. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I appreciate all you, and I'll see you again soon with another video. New from All Caps Comics, Rainbow the Brute, the last real man in fairyland. A tale of prismatic pain, a spectrum of brutality, and a pretty good dad. Choke slam a unicorn by backing it today, only on Indiegogo. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. New from All Caps Comics, Snowman: A Cold Day in Hell. The victim of a genocidal massacre has somehow returned from the dead and is carving a path of death across the heart of America. Driven by the echoes of silent screams, this is the story of a man once known as Black Dog, the one now forever known as the Snowman. Snowman: A Cold Day in Hell, back it today, only on Indiegogo.